guys, and welcome back to Mark Shrimp Tanks. Today we're going to be on a rescue mission because I've noticed recently that I really don't have that an awful lot of Red Ramshorn snails, and that is partially down to the conditions in my tanks. I primarily breed crystals, so most of my tanks have pretty soft water. For example, in this tank, this is decently, mildly hard water, I would say. And I know I have some Red Ramshorn snails in here somewhere, but there's still not that many of them. And I want to sell these guys next year, so I have to get my finger out and set up a little tank for them. So I'm going to use this tub. This is a tub I've used before for something, I can tell, because I can see a water line in it, so I might have used this for shrimp or something before. I honestly can't remember. So we're going to use that tub. We're going to use this board to put the tub on to keep it off the floor, because it's going to go on the floor. I have already a light under here that I've tested just to see if the cable is long enough to go under here, and it is. I also have a sponge filter in here, an extra one that's going to go in the tank because I want the water to be filtered. I'm going to use tap water, and we're going to use prime. We're also going to use, I can't see if you can see under here somewhere, there's GH booster, and we're going to set the GH much higher than I normally would. Typically in these tanks I have GH of between 4 and 5 and 6 on all of them, and for me that is not good enough for snails in particular, because it leads to them having problems with shell erosion. You will see this once we get some of these snails out of here. I think if I can focus on some of them. The little one near the top has quite bad shell erosion, so we need to do a rescue job on these guys. They're going to go under here, as I said. I'm going to put some of the stuff down, and then we'll get into filling it with water and stuff, because I plan to use just tap water in this tank, and it's going to be probably not heated because this room is warm enough. You can see, I don't know if you can see over here, 24 degrees outside, so the outside temperature means that this room temperature is about 24 degrees. I suspect it will be slightly lower down there, but it will be warm enough for these snails. So enough of the blabbering. I'm going to put some of the stuff over here. So I'm going to label this video how to set up a tank for Red Ramshorn snails, because, or will it call it how to set up a tank for breeding Red Ramshorn snails, because that is what this is going to be. Yeah, I think that is what it's going to be, I think. So we're going to put our board down here. This is just to keep the plastic off the floor, because I think it could affect the water temperature. Now, let's see here. Just need to get my hand out of this thing. Where's this light going here? It's a little bit short. It's a wee bit short. Right, so that is the light on, kinda. That's good enough. Right, so the tank is going to go basically like this. You see it? And it's going to be used for snails. And there's a wee, is that a jumping spider? No. I thought it was a little jumping spider right there. So this is basically what it's going to look like. I will fill this with water. We'll put the sponge filter in. I think I have some spare perspex here we could use for a lid. I'm going to take also some of the old egg shells out of the back of this tank. It's in here. We're going to put them in there. And probably we're going to feed these guys a diet of spinach and whatever algae tablets I have. And we shall see how it goes. Now, as I said, I already have a filter in this tank that we can use. I'm actually really hoping that it's long enough for me to do this first time without having to put the camera down, because the cable on it is very long. See, we might get away with this actually. The only thing I'm going to check this for in advance is I don't want snail eggs or any kind of other snail in this, so I'm just going to give it a little shake like this. Give it a little rub. I'm not cleaning the filter, I'm just making sure there's no baby snails from anything else. It's no big deal if there is, because we can just remove them later. I'm trying to see how I could do this here. It's going to be long enough, so this is the advantage of thinking ahead, I think. So the wee sponge filter is going to go in here, somewhere in the back. I will tidy up this cabling later. I'll probably just wire it behind here. And then we need to fill this up. So I'm going to stick you on the tripod for a second, guys, because I can't do this all at the same time. So please forgive me. Yeah, it's going to fit, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to put a cup full of prime in here, dechlorinator. There's nothing in my water, but I'm just playing on the safe side. Oh God! Have you guys ever smelled prime? Why the hell does it smell so bad? Jesus! It smells like it's come straight out of a septic tank. So I put a cap in. And the great thing about doing this, guys, as well, is because that filter has been used in another tank and I'm using prime, etc., these snails can virtually go straight in here once it's filled up. So we're going to fill it with water. This shouldn't take too long because the water pressure is pretty decent here. So now the sponge filter should start to kick in and start working straight away. Sponge filter's on. Now I have decent enough access to get in here as well, so that's good. I can get jugs in here, etc. I can get a net in here if I wish to. This light is not the greatest, so we shall see. I have plans for moving some of my other lights around because I do have 2 LEDs ordered for these bigger tanks. Also, guys, if you didn't know already, red ramshorn snails are gastropods, which means they come up to the surface. They will climb the side to the surface here, and they will gulp air because they don't have gills. So turn the water off. So they don't have gills, and what that means typically for gastropods is if you have wrong water conditions, if you have water that is too acidic for them, they eventually will get holes in their shells, and that can be quite detrimental to them because a hole in their shell means that they will sink basically because the water will get into their shell. As I'm not really aware if this type of snail can fix itself. I'm not sure if snails do that or not, so I would pretty much think that once a snail gets a hole in its shell and it sinks to the bottom, unless you see it and manage to fix it somehow, I would imagine it would mean death for the snail. So I'm going to grab my TDS meter and we're going to check out the water and stuff on this because my water in Norway is pretty clean, but it's too clean for snails and shrimp, etc. So we're going to have to add stuff to here. Alright, let me see. You're coming over. You're coming over. No, Mark, no, don't touch us. Yes, you're coming over. Alright, let's see. I think I have to go with this hand. Right, so as you can see, that is a TDS of 89, and that is with prime. If anybody's ever done a test with prime, I'm not sure, it might contain some kind of salts. That is what puts your TDS in your water up. Water temperature is 22.1. It's a little bit colder than where they've come from, so we shall heat that water up a little bit. By the way guys, you can heat water up for tanks a very, very easy way is take some water out, put it in the microwave, heat it up, put it back in the tank. That's how easy it is. We might not do that though. This is 22, we shall see. But we're going to now use some of this stuff. This is a GH booster. This is stuff I had when I used to keep fish before. As I said, it's not very good for shrimp though. And we shall see. We're going to put in one full flat scoop, like so. I'm just going to gently sprinkle it because this might take a little while to dissolve. So anyway guys, as I said before, I'm going to try and aim for about 300 TDS. I'm just going to grab a little stick to mix this with. So we can mix this GH buffer up a little bit faster. Yeah, so I think this is going to work out pretty well, I think. I'm going to put some eggshell in here, if there's still eggshell left, that is. I'm not going to put any plants in here either because I basically want to keep this tank as clean as possible. It's going to get pretty large water changes every week, probably around about 80-90% every single week, because I'm going to feed this tank pretty heavily. I also don't want to introduce snails from other tanks, because there will be snail eggs on plants and stuff. There's probably snail eggs on this filter in this tank right now. So let's see. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it there? Maybe. It's going up. It's about 113. So I'm going to stick another scoop in. Might stick 2 scoops in actually. Two level scoops. So we are going to say goodbye to calcium deficiencies with these snails. Hopefully it's going to be a really nice environment for them. I might have to stick the temperature up a little bit. We shall see. I have lots of little heaters and things, so it's going to be a test. You know, one of the plants I might put in here actually, if I can find a small enough piece of it, is a piece of water sprite. I think the snails will like that. Some water sprite. They will probably eat it to pieces though, but we shall see. We shall see how it goes. Anyway guys, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. This video will be out on a Sunday, which will be your relaxing day, I suppose. I hope you're having a great day, whatever you're doing. I think that's mixed up. Probably is. If this was salted beef shrimp, it would be mixed up already. We shall see. Okay, so that says 160. I've actually put a lot of stuff in here now and it's kind of not really going up much. Maybe it's not as good as salted beef shrimp. So I'm going to continue to add GH buffer until I reach the desired level. So this time I'm going to put 3 in. I'm going to be a warrior. I'm going to be rebellious. Because it's been a while since I used this stuff, so Let's give it a mix again. Make sure you're getting all the corners. And the water has went pretty cloudy, so I take it that it's from the GH buffer. Yeah, as I said to you before, I used to keep planted tanks, and I still have some stuff that I can't use in shrimp tanks, and this GH buffer was one of the things. Let's see. $222, $220. So that went up quite a jump there. So I think I'm going to add another couple, and then we're going to put something else in here. We're going to see if we can find some eggshells, etc. Alright, so we'll try two. And then you're coming with me. Powder all over the camera. And I think somewhere in here I have some eggshell, but we're going to have to search for it. Just hold on a second, guys. I know my arm's going to go in here, so I need to have a towel prepared so my arm doesn't get soaking. Now, the last time I saw any eggshell in here is away in this corner, away down the back, and it's probably all crushed to pieces by now. Okay, there's some still there, but it's very, very minimal. And we're going to put some not wisteria, keep on saying wisteria, we're going to put some water Sprite in. I have some in this tank here, but I have only little bits, so these little bits here can go in. You see how small they are, but they will grow into a plant. There's two bits there. There's a big bit at the back. I don't want to put that in yet. I can't actually see anymore. Will that do for now, we think? Yeah, it will do. So I noticed in here as well, I used to have a lot of Red Ramshorn snails in here, bigger ones, and they've all disappeared. I could actually see one there, so I'm just going to put my hand in and grab this guy. See if we can save him as well. And you will be able to see what I'm talking about with the shell erosion thing, if the camera will focus. You see it? On his back, it's pretty eroded. This is what happens when you keep them in water that is a little bit acidic. I don't want him to die, so he's going to come over here and he's going in with his friends. Right, just tied up as we go. Right, let's see. That water is still a little bit cloudy. I have a feeling it's going to be fine now. 246. I can't remember if I stirred this. No, I didn't. I can actually see the stuff in the bottom, so I didn't stir it. It may take a little while to dissolve, but now it's kind of in that safe zone that I want it to be for them. And hopefully, with a bit of luck, they will love in here and they will breed, and we will have lots of them, because I plan to sell these along with cherry shrimp, etc. $265, that will do. The camera is telling me I have less than 30 seconds left, so I'm going to pause the video here, and but I shall be right back, okay? 1 second, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry for the delay, the camera needed to be charged, etc. You know the score. So, the water has cleared up a little bit. It's still a little bit cloudy, but that's to be expected. I did find a few more Red Ramshorn snails, Two of them are in quite bad condition, but they're still alive. So there's 8 now. We have 8 of the little buggers. I'm going to keep on using that GH buffer here for this tank, so it's going to stay here. I'm going to feed these guys one of these. Let me see if I can open it for you and just show you. I use these with my shrimp as well. But this is what the snails are going to get. They get half of one of these every couple of days or something. Okay. I'm not going to feed them today. Today is going to be their acclimation day. And I tested the water there, it's 23 degrees, which is warm enough. So we're just going to gradually put these in. Now, you know and I know that these guys are going to stick to the little tub. So, I might just have to put you on the wee tripod again. Right, and then we're going to have to take these guys out by hand, I think. Just going to loosen them off. And I have to be careful with these because I've found with red ramshorn snails, especially ones that have been in acidic conditions, their shells are super brittle, they're easily broken. So if you are too hasty with them, you will basically kill them. You will crush them and kill them. And that's not what we want, so they are in. They're in their new home. I have a lid here with a perspex that can go on top to keep the evaporation down to a minimum. With a light across. And that is them, I think. That is them. Now we have a little breeding colony of red ramshorn snails up in Starade. I might order some cuttlebone for these as well. You're not really going to be able to see these very clearly because this is just a plastic tub. But it's good enough for starting a colony of red ramshorn snails. So, I hope you enjoyed today's show, guys. You know what to do. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a dislike. If you haven't subscribed, please do that, and I'll catch you all on the next video. And I should say now, happy shrimp keeping, but I should really say, happy snail keeping. Bye! Bye, guys.